Goes up, epic people, whoever is watching this. I'm not sure if I'm listening this to my community or put it on YouTube or something, but what I wanted to run through with you today is if you are a rambler. So I'm going to share my screen with you. I've got this ready. What I've been working with on the most at the moment, hold on, moving over to here. There we go. What I've been working on the most at the moment with people is kind of breaking down their need for nuance and technicality, and a general kind of lack of direction and flow. So a lot of people aren't smart enough to consume really, really high level smart content. And that's okay. We have to bring our knowledge down to a level that's consumable. When I talk about camera stuff and audio equipment, I can be super, super nerdy. I said this to Bell, one of my one-on-ones the other day. Shout out Bell if you're watching. I said, look, my video where I said that the audio mics that you buy are set wrong, I could say that as when you purchase your Rode Wireless Go, it's actually set to a mono recording channel rather than a stereo one, which means that when you come to export it, it's only going to play through the left channel. And she goes, what does that mean? I said, that just means that when you buy them, they're set wrong. It only plays through one headphone, which means my job is to convey that in a much simpler way that makes sense. So I'm working with one of my retainer clients, Alice. We're planning this sort of unsustainable hotline series for like people who do unsustainable things in coaching. This is one dot point she's written for a single video. So I'll read through it with you now. Hopefully you can see this. Are you a chronic perfectionist? Are you always striving to overachieve? Are you setting yourself huge goals? Are you setting high expectations? Welcome to the unsustainable hotline. Puts on the headset. So every time you say you're not going to eat chocolate for a month, but end up binge eating after 2 weeks, you say you're going to lose 10 kilos, blah, 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 blah. She lists a few examples here of some unsustainable things. If you're setting the bar extremely high and not achieving it, this may be the problem. Result and self-confidence come from doing things and ticking the boxes and gaining momentum, not setting impossibly high standards and failing constantly feeling shit due to it. That's standing while walking. So then she gives some tips. Set more realistic goals. Set goals that you can get wins across the board. Eat protein, hit a step goal, stop perceiving social media as people's false idea of perfection. Strive every day to be how it works for you, that sort of thing. And then she gives one more third one. It's not about lowering your standards. It's about setting a more sustainable structure that boosts your confidence and has you kicking goals with an 80-20 approach rather than a I must be 100% perfect approach. Now, this is a lot of awesome info. The problem with it is it's convoluted. It doesn't get the point across quickly, which is where I talk to my clients about breaking things down into their simplest form. You need to give one tip, one piece of communication, one skit, one example. You can't give multiple things in a real, the format just really struggles to work that way. Unless you're able to be engaging that whole time, you lose people. And in fact, I kind of lost myself while reading through this. So what I've done for the last 20 minutes is gone through those things and broken them down into 4 separate videos because I can clearly define that there's an introduction to this series that we're doing. We're doing the Unsustainable Hotline, which is an awesome skit series that'll be good to run. So we have to introduce that series with some examples. Then she gives actual examples of people doing unsustainable habits. Believe it or not, each of these things can be their own video. You can make a video about people who say they want to lose 10 kilos in 5 weeks, but then they give up after 5 weeks because it hasn't happened yet. Clearly something very unsustainable. That's its own video rather than an example in a video because I'm breaking this down into my smallest parts. So for example, video 1, we've got Ali turning to the camera with a headset on with the all elevator music. Are you a chronic perfectionist? Footage of her weighing out individual grains of rice, always striving to overachieve. So her partner Sean doing crunches 1,000, 1,002, 1,003. That sort of thing. Setting yourself up for setting up huge goals. We're going to have Alice watching Phil Heath on YouTube and she's going to like check her own biceps and be like, yeah, I need to get there. Clearly, huge goal to be Phil Heath. Welcome to the Unsustainable Hotline where we fix your BS. Stay tuned for more episodes like this one. You introduce the premise. That's its own reel. That reel alone will take 20 to 30 seconds, which is the perfect length for something that's going to have high production value, rather than trying to pack all that in a minute 10 and you lose people. Then what we do is bring it down to video 2. This is going to be the first of the skits, right? So we've got the unsustainable Alice stepping onto the scale and she goes, I've been dieting for 4 weeks and I haven't lost 10 kilos yet. Next minute, her phone rings. She goes, hello. And then the sustainable Alice with the headset on from the previous video is going to go, welcome back to the Unsustainable Hotline. If you're frustrated about all the weight loss that you want hasn't happened in the last month, you need to start setting goals that can get you wins daily. Instead of being upset that you haven't lost 3 kilos overnight, celebrate that you hit your step target and your protein goal that day. And then Unsustainable Alice can go, oh my God, wow, thanks so much. What else can I do? And then Sustainable Alice is going to turn to the camera and say, follow me for more. That's it. That's one video of one topic. That's literally this one line sorry, not that one. This one line in this whole block of info, that's a video expanded on that with some examples of the tips, right? Don't believe me? Here's video 3. Okay, so she's throwing a block of chocolate in the bin. That's it. No more chocolate for a month. Then we're going to have like that 6 hours later screen pop up. Unsustainable Alice walks back into the kitchen, grabs chocolate out of the bin, opens it, starts eating the chocolate, right? And then the phone rings. She picks it up, and then we cut back to her with now an empty block of chocolate wrapper. So we're assuming she's eaten the whole thing, and she's eating the last square. And then Sustainable Alice goes, if you're struggling with binging on chocolate, complete removal is not the answer. Create it, and then it's just a video about that. It's a video about how to not overeat chocolate, right? This is really important, guys. Sometimes when we come up with these ideas and these concepts, we want to make them so big. We want to cover everything so that we can provide all the value in one go. But the problem with trying to provide all the value in one go is generally no one finds value from that because they don't want to consume it, which is the biggest thing here. Breaking things down into smaller bite-sized chunks, although it feels like you're giving people less, you're actually giving them something rather than putting something out there that few people consume. I always say, would you rather have 10,000 people watch 4 15-second episodes of something or 1,000 watch your minute-long video? Exactly. It's better to reach more in bite-sized and get that through via drip feeding, because that's how social media is structured now, than to try and provide it all in one massive chunk. Always focus on one concept, one principle, one idea, one joke, one skit, build around that rather than trying to jam pack so much shit into your videos. Now, this was really, really short one because this was just an example I wanted to provide on how to break this down. If you do have any more questions on this, let me know, whatever comment section, or if this is in the group chat, then message me how you would like me to explain this kind of broken down further. But practice breaking down your ideas. Instead of creating a top 3 list, like let's say if you're a coach, top 3 protein sources at Woolworths, I just want you to talk about what kind of steak should I buy. See how I'm breaking that down? Just it's like, do I get Scotch fillet or ribeye or eye fillet? Which one am I picking if I have fat loss goal or like bulking goal? Break things down into their smallest concepts rather than trying to overarch everything, because when you overarch everything, there aren't that many concepts you can talk about. You can only talk about carb sources and Woolworths a few times. But if you talk about types of rice and then types of potato and then how to cook your potato, like see how nuance can create more. Divide your shit up or you will run out of ideas. All right, if you found this valuable, please let me know. Appreciate you all. Have a good day.